Hello, my name is Kevin and you're watching Lærde Eald English. And this video is really a notice video celebrating the channel's birthday. I started this channel in the 5th of September and in 2014, so I mean 4 years. 4 years. 4 long years. I mean, it really hits me how time flies, and I still remember the early days of my channel, where like I was still learning Old English. I was still in the beginnings of learning Old English, but as I got better at it, and then my creativity expanded, because it's a language, because the nature of a language, I mean, it's a form of art, and with that alone, once you master a language, you could play with it and make it fun to learn, and this is what I try to do with this channel, to make Old English seem relevant, to seem like a common thing, if that makes sense, so that's why I do songs, I do stories, I do devotional content, like the way I see Old English. Well, there's a few ways to look at it. Well, I look at Old English in a number of ways, but one of them, I see Old English the same way a practitioner of Sanatana Dharma sees Sanskrit. That's one way of looking at Old English. Or another way of looking at Old English that I possess in vision of, if that makes sense, that that it's you could say a minority language, just like the minority dialects throughout Germanic speaking countries and dialects and whatnot, and Old English being one that it's being reborn, it's coming back. I mean, it's not like, I don't like the notion of a dead language. I mean, because a dead language has this implication that it's dead, it's not coming back, there's nothing you can do, leave it alone, but it's not dead, because a language is something tangible. Despite how old it is, it can be picked up again. Sure, pronunciation can be speculated, but the language is still there. As long as we still have texts and whatnot about it. And the thing is with this channel, what amazes me about my journey with Old English in relation to this channel, that it really goes to show that if you really believe in yourself, hang on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I was just anyway. If you really believe in yourself, I mean, almost anything is possible, right? And when I started Old English, some of you may be wondering. I know I have made videos about this, but I'll say it again, since this is kind of a video where I just celebrate the channel altogether and all my work. Really, is that thing is when I started learning Old English, I didn't. Yeah, exactly. When I started Old English, I didn't go to school for it. No, because at the time I wasn't studying languages. But anyway, and the thing is, with the way they teach it in academia is like, oh, it's a dead language, and nothing more. But I have a different attitude towards Old English, because there are grammars out there you can get for free. Archive.org has some, Google Books has some, but thing is, these books are meant for people who already know Latin, or already have a background in linguistics. And even then, those hard books, you read them slowly and thoroughly, that they forge you into a linguistic Beowulf, which has happened to me. I mean, if you're like, the point I'm trying to make is that regardless of your background, you can achieve anything. Okay, well, almost anything. Let's be realistic, all right? But if you believe in yourself, you can do it. You can move forward. And then before you know it, you realize, oh wow, I'm actually really good at this now. When you practice a bit every day, every day, every day, practice makes improvement. And the thing is, a little off topic, but I want to say it anyway. I mean, as soon as someone says, oh, I'm a master at X, Y, and Z, or I'm a master at this, and ho ho ho, learning stops. Because when you think you know it all, maintaining what you know, it stops. And when that happens, ego emerges, and therefore ignorance comes after, and then this hubris, like, oh, I know everything, ho ho. Well, no, when in reality, learning never ends. I'm pleased. I'm pleased when I learn something new about Old English, because I don't know everything. I mean, does anyone really know everything about their specified subject? No, there's always something new to learn and to embrace. You know, and you know, like, I spent hours on the bosworthandtaller.com and the BT Anglo-Saxon dictionary. I spent hours on that site learning how certain words are used, and spellings, variant spellings, dialects, and all that sort of thing. I mean, you know, it's not easy stuff, and that's what makes it fun to learn, because it's hard, because it's not easy, because there's no Duolingo. You know, it's funny, we live in an age where people want things to be easy and not worthwhile. Because when something is worthwhile, you meditate on it, you spend time with it, you dedicate yourself to it. You know, I mean, you know, I mean, and thing is, with the approach of this channel, as you can tell, if you've been paying attention, that is, that I'm using the mode of immersion. You know, when you learn a language, when you seriously learn a language, and you go to that country of that target language, you're exposed to that language all the time. You know, the signs, the announcements on the intercoms and whatnot, they're all in that language. Kind of that same concept with what I'm doing now with Old English, having songs, having stories, having devotional content in Old English. You know, so yeah, and you know, with my journey in Old English, it really, how can I word this? It led me to a path of other things. And it's so true when people say that when you learn a lot about your own language, you eventually want to know other languages, like the story, like, and yeah, exactly, their stories too. You know, like when I learned Old English, it's more than just really Old English. I'm thinking, what was also spoken during this time elsewhere? So I looked into Old Saxon, I looked into Old Frisian, Old High German, Gothic, Old Low Franconian. Have I forgot others? I've been into Old Norse. You know, all these other languages of that time, and or even afterwards, like Old Swedish and Old Danish. You know, I mean, and then you start to realize, oh, but there are languages out there and dialects that still have these old words. Ah, okay, and so modern Germanic dialects. You know, so I mean, it's a rabbit hole, and let your curiosity guide you. Wisdom begins in wonder. You know, just because you're learning some obscure thing, so what? Go for it, man. You know, that's how you learn and grow, and just being open-minded. You know, I mean, things you look up and learn can surprise you. You know, like, you know, you start to realize, huh, okay, well, that is related to this, and this is related to that, and, you know, I mean, we're more connected than you think. You know, I mean, it's funny, you have people that think, oh, English is just its own thing, you know, it's just, you know, no, it's much more connected with the rest of the world, you know, especially of the Germanic world. But for example, in German you have Flasche, meaning a bottle. What's the cognate in English? A flask. But in English, a flask is a specific kind of bottle that you put alcohol in. You know, it's not like the standard word for bottle. But yeah, you know, that's just one example. You start to realize, okay, you know, English is kind of like another form of Germanic. Well, it's a North Sea Germanic language or West Germanic language. Anyway, don't want to get into that, but yeah, I mean, I'm ever so glad I started this channel, because in a way this channel has changed me. You know, and my journey with Old English, and it's my passion. It's really my passion, and it makes me so glad that I can share this passion with you guys. That there are people out there. I started this channel with a gut feeling that I just know deep down that a lot of people want to know this language, but just don't have the means to do it, or don't know where to look, or whatnot. You know, I mean, I truly want to make a difference in this world. I know that may sound naive, kind of silly and whatnot, but I mean, at least one can try, because you know, we're only on this earth for a limited amount of time, so why not make the best of it for future generations, rather than sitting in your room playing video games and pretending to be a hero in Skyrim or what have you. You know, I mean, and I realize with the whole spiritual content, I realize, okay, I can use Old English in a way that I can help improve people's lives and their spiritual well-being, spiritual well-being, and just, well, their life altogether. You know, having such content would strengthen people, improve their lives, you know, gaining confidence, and, you know, we can all be heroes too, and heroines too. Yeah, not many people use the word heroine a lot, I mean, but, yeah, yeah, but when you say that, people think of the drug and not the feminine form of hero. Anyway, yeah, we can all be heroes and heroine. No, is it heroine? Anyway, I can't speak. You know, sometimes dramatic languages. When you know too many languages, your mind goes, I don't know. Anyway. You know, I'm ever so glad to have all you guys supporting me, whether you're subscribed, not subscribed, a patron, not a patron. I mean, thank you so much. You know, 4 years, wow. You know, you just gotta. My best advice to all you younger people out there, or even people my age, explore. Learn about everything as much as you can, because you're bound to find something that'll be like, oh, I want to do that, or oh, I want to learn about that, and then from there, you know, you can, you know, focus on what you love and rather than what you don't like, you know, because life is only good as we make it, all right, and it's really about attitude in the end. I mean, if you have a positive attitude, okay, let's get up in the morning and let's make the best of it. Or you have some people that are like, they get up in the morning and they go, ugh, another day. Well, I mean, it's attitude, and or just you know, perspective that, especially with this channel, I guess that makes me different from most people when it comes to Old English or even old and dramatic languages, where I just have a different attitude, and from there, you know, I can let my creativity flourish, you know. Yeah. You know, I mean, not every minute of conversation needs conversation. Sometimes it's just nice to enjoy the other person's company, you know. 4 years, you know, I mean, when I started learning Old English, yes, I had some help, but I didn't, like, to get to the level that I'm in now, you know, a lot of it was on my own, practicing, learning every day, reading every day, practicing sentences and whatnot, and making these videos, and using the language helps too, because it kind of solidates. Yeah, I think that's the right word. Like what I know, and then so when I want to write, it becomes easier. It becomes like, you know, I guess I'm one of the few people that can actually say that Old English is my third language. You know, I mean, that might be a little weird to say. Like, what do you mean, Shakespeare? No, Anglo-Saxon. That's the other name for Old English. But yeah, I mean, 4 years. 4 years. You know, I'm ever so glad. I'm ever so glad that, you know, to have people that have been with me since the very start, halfway through, or just now. You know, because, you know, this is different. You know, like, nobody ever thinks of, like, making a song in Old English or what have you, or actually taking the language seriously. You know? Anyway, guys, thank you all for your support. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here where I am, because it's you guys that motivate me, and I'm ever so grateful. You know, I wish you all health and happiness, truly. Alright, guys, thank you for watching, if you made it this far, and I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.